hearing is now called to order at 3 minutes past 6 on Tuesday, February 25 of 2020. This hearing is being held as required by the provisions of Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth, and act relative to the protection of the wetlands as most recently amended. Notice of the time and place of this hearing was published in the Advocate on February 20th, 2020. Is also posted in the town clerk's office. Persons wishing to be heard will be called in the following order. And our state ethics law is requiring me to tell you that this is being broadcast or taped for future broadcast. Okay. So the first order of business would be minutes for approval from the January 14 meeting.
I'll make a motion the minutes be approved as submitted.
I'll second.
Any further discussions? And no, I didn't have any changes to suggest. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's done there. Meeting mail. Mary Lou, would you like to?
We have a save the date for an open space conference in Greenfield, which is coming up in April.
Saturday, April 25.
And, right, you know, it came along, I just thought you guys might be interested. And then we have a letter from Anton DeMello, who lives at 90 Porter Street. I'll let you read it. He was feeling a little harassed by my second letter, I think. And he tells me that he actually has not done any manipulating of the water over there, but that it's been that way for a long time.
That's the Perry Hill?
No, that's
Street.
Porter Street is over off of South Main. The guy with the ducks and stuff and all the birds.
There's a marsh behind there.
Remember he had the truck, the landscaper's
chips.
truck? Yeah.
How could he, he never read the letter to us, right?
No, I haven't read it to you.
Actually, you sent me an electronic copy of this.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
I should have seen
I went through that.
Okay.
But anyway, his basic, you're welcome to read it, but his basic intention is not to do anything more over there. So he said, you know, just, because I kept sending him an application. You know, if you're gonna do this, you need to apply, you know.
Good.
And he says, no, I'm not doing anything, so.
It's good he's cleaned all tires and stuff out of there, yeah, but nothing else can happen over there.
So, yeah, he invited me to go over there and take pictures, I just haven't done it yet.
Okay.
He's, you know, he puts his availability on there, I just haven't been over there.
Okay, so, anything else for meeting mail then?
Nope, that's it for now.
Okay. I'll make a note here.
Are we gonna address the flow there, or is you gonna?
Well, that's why I say I'm gonna take some pictures, so you guys can decide if you wanna do anything over there or not. But he cited, Alfred Fernandez. Was he on the commission when you were? No,
Before my time.
I think he was the chair at one point, like, before Paul Picard. So, yeah, it was a while back. And he said he had straightened it all out with him back then. So,
Maybe we have old minutes somewhere.
I didn't look for minutes, I didn't get the impression, he said he lived like across the street or something. So I got the impression it was
Okay.
local discussion.
Yes. Off the books. All right, so on to old business. We have an NOI for the town of Acushnet DPW, SE 001-0541. A notice of intent was filed by the town of Acushnet DPW for property located on Hamlin Street, map 23 and 24, lots 22, 26, 26A, and 18 through 26, 23A, 23C, 23D, 25A through C. The applicant proposes to dig a trench and lay a pipe with catch basins and manholes to relieve drainage issues on Hamlin Street within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by Bob Rogers of GAF Engineering Incorporated. Plan name is Town of Acushnet DPW Street Improvements Project Hamlin Street as dated October 24, 2019. Is anybody here to speak on this project?
No, this was not ready.
So we need a motion to continue.
Second.
No, so I can't make it, someone has to make it.
Did,
She
did
did?
you raise your hand?
I didn't, but I will.
Okay.
I thought
So,
I saw you raise your hand.
so a motion from Heidi to continue to the next meeting, second from Everett. Any further discussion?
No.
No,
All in favor?
like,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you.
Page two.
Okay. New business, we have an ANRAD for Gavash 540R Main Street, abbreviated. This is file number SE 001-0544. An abbreviated notice of resource area delineation is filed by TJA Clean Energy LLC for property located at 540R Main Street, map 11, lot 10. The applicant is represented by Atlantic Design Engineers Incorporated. Plan name is abbreviated notice of resource area delineation as dated October 25 of 2018. Somebody.
Yeah, how are ya?
oh,
Is this a good place for it? Go for it. How are you guys? My name's Asa. I'm Asa Smith from Atlantic Design Engineers, and I'm here for this ANRAD for the 540 R Main Street property. It's my impression that the commission and Mary Lee were able to walk the site a couple weeks ago with our wetland scientist Nicole Hayes from Goddard. From my understanding, everyone was in agreement with the flag locations, and that's kind of where we stand.
Any follow-up questions, comments?
No, I think it was pretty good lines.
Yeah. Happy with it.
There is, there's a couple of pools that look like they're probably vernal pools. Did you, can we flag those in the spring?
I would have to double check with the powers that be.
yeah,
Is that something you guys would be interested in?
Very much.
Okay. Okay.
where are they from?
They're over on this side, on the
Yeah.
other side.
Oh, okay.
But there's good size. Good chance we could get that side.
Oh, okay.
Where are the locations on that? Do you remember?
They're over on the right side, up towards the, yeah, up
Okay.
in that area there.
Okay.
If you go in from the back, you right there.
Anybody else from the commission with comments or questions for Mr. Smith?
I mean, the understanding was the scope of work was gonna be away from that line anyway.
Exactly.
So even further away, which was favorable to us.
Yeah.
In the front, right?
Mm.
This way.
Yeah.
And nothing's gonna happen in the back.
From my understanding, yes, but the plans are not 100% sure, but crossing that wetland in there does not look like very much of an option.
Yeah, it's good size.
Is anybody else in the audience here for this project comment?
I am.
Please.
So,
For the record, just for the record.
My name's Mike Banner, I live at 488 Main Street.
Okay.
Now, this delineation is just for wetlands, or is it the actual boundary of the property?
It's just the wetlands themselves.
Just the wetlands? Now, the spot in the middle where the dots are,
Mhm.
is that wetlands?
Yeah, that's wet.
Okay. Now, would the solar farm be affected by that wetland, or?
I'm not here to comment on any development
So
of
what
the
are
property
you,
itself.
okay.
It's just mainly these wetlands. Anything that we do that will encroach on these wetlands will obviously be going in front of you guys
That
for
would
the
be a
notice
whole
of
other
intent.
permitting
Or
process.
permitting process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's just the wetlands, and we're just trying to solidify those lines.
Okay. So what does the ANRAD involve?
It's,
It's just the wetland lines, you know.
Okay,
it's
so
just
that's
the-
already been done?
That's already been done, yeah, there's
Okay.
flags out there that, you know, those lines represent where the
Right.
flags are.
Okay.
And if they want to build without involving the commission, they need to be 100 feet from that line.
Now, north is up? Okay.
occasionally we'll have a project like this where people just want to talk about the flag line, make sure that we approve the way it's been flagged before they make any plans for it.
Okay, black line, I'm not, you're gonna have to
Sorry,
excuse my
sorry.
ignorance.
No, yeah, sometimes we get,
Okay.
you know, jargon within the group. So where these triangles are,
Okay,
the wetland biologist would put a pink flag or something
Okay.
like that with a number. So he says WLF A71,
Right.
so that's wetland flag.
okay,
So all of these, so shoot, the low numbers here, working this way for this side, so the western side. So this is considered upland, so it's, you know, not gonna have, you know, like if you start digging under the surface, you're not gonna find water right away. Whereas this is considered wetland, and then this is the flag line for the opposite
Okay.
side. That's why you're seeing B letters as opposed to A letters.
Okay.
So this again would be upland,
Mhm.
this is upland, Main Street being
Yep.
here. And the only way they can get to that is to cross it.
Okay.
And it may not be worth the effort
Mhm.
for what's available there to build a upland to make that crossing.
But this is definitely buildable, right?
That is,
Okay.
yeah, and again, as Marilee said, anything within if they stay 100 feet away from that wetland boundary, we'll never see the building. Building commission would.
Okay. So building as far as developing into
Yeah.
house lots, right?
And what we had heard was solar.
So, okay. What's the distance between here and there, do you know?
I don't know. You might have-
So that's
you might
about
have a gauge.
Okay, I
160
got the
feet,
feel.
yeah, 160 feet
It was
over there.
160 feet,
So,
about 2 inches, an inch and a half?
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty large property.
okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Anybody else, questions or comments? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the flag line as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the flag as presented.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, abstaining? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the next one, we have an NOI for Frank and Karen Knox. By the, you know, Mr. Fnup, if,
Okay, I'm
yeah,
good.
you're welcome to go. I mean, if you
You wanna
find
find
this-
out, that would,
really entertaining, you're welcome to stay.
thank you, have a great night.
You too. Okay, so we have an NOI for Frank and Karen Knox, Perry Hill Road. This is file number SE 001-0546, map 9, portion of lot 18A, also listed as ANR lot number 6. A notice of intent was filed by Frank and Karen Knox for property located at Perry Hill Road, map 9, portion of lot 18A. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family dwelling with detached garage, driveway, utility, septic system, and grading within the 100-foot buffer zone or bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by David M. DeVignan of Schneider, DeVignan and Leone Incorporated. Plan name is Sewage Disposal System, site plan for property known as ANR Lot Number 6 on Perry Hill Road in Acushnet, Mass. As stated February 6th of 2020. Mr. DeVignan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, I'm David DeVickin. With me is Karen Knox. She's one half of the ownership of the property, maybe majority ownership. She owns it with her husband. They purchased 2 lots side by side. We'll talk about the next one on the next hearing. These were 2 lots that were cut out of a larger tract of land that's owned by Russ Du Bois. They're A&R lots. There are currently houses being built further down the street that have no jurisdiction for the conservation, but these 2 lots certainly do. We had Russ hired a office to flag the wetland line, which basically went beyond the field and into the woods. Depending on where you are, it's fairly close over here, and it gets a little deeper into the woods as you go west around the property. A lot of the property is field. This is the eastern portion of the 2 lots, this lot 6. So what we have is, we have a stream along the eastern boundary line that is an intermittent stream. It was determined to be intermittent a long time ago, I might guess about 15, 16 years ago when Russ built his house on this side. I actually was on the commission when we made that determination. I still remember Sandy Keys coming in with photos about the impoundment. There was all kinds of information submitted at that time. This brook has a culvert under the road and it continues up north, upland. There's also a pond across the street to the northwest of this lot, which creates this buffer zone into the lot slightly. So we have a green line here, which is a 100-foot buffer zone off of the wetlands, which shows that approximately 60–65% of the lot falls in that buffer zone, and then a very small slither up in the northwest corner which falls in the buffer zone. We're proposing a 4-bedroom house, all centrally located, and a detached garage off to the rear of the site. We had excellent perk results. Perk tests were done in front of the parcel of lot. So the septic system will be located outside the buffer zone entirely, the leaching field and the septic tank. The house mostly will be within the buffer zone, and the garage will be all in the buffer zone. The back of the house will be a walkout basement, so we have minimal grading going on all along the wetland sides of the property. The front has to be filled in order to accommodate the septic. This is where the land has a significant drop from west to east. So we'll be utilizing that grade and trying to match it, blend it in. The driveway will actually come off of Perry Hill Road, fairly level, and then at some point it'll actually drop down so that the garage slab is slightly close to the existing grade. So there'll actually be a drop down to get into the garage, and that's why it's pushed back a bit so that we're able to drive down into that garage. There'll be a well installed, which will be actually in the open field. The bubble line right there represents as it exists now. We're showing this dark green line as the no activity zone on this parcel. So that's where we'll place a siltation fence for erosion control. It's very possible this may come up even more over here, preserve some of this for privacy. There isn't a whole lot of clearing to happen, just this little piece right here in order to construct the garage and do a little bit of grading in the backyard. The driveway is proposed to be paved, but there's plenty of land for it to flow and drain off into before it goes into the wetlands. There'll be underground utilities for electric in the front of the house, put across over to the pole, which exists right across the street, on our side of the street. We did receive the DEP file number. There was one comment made regarding a potential wetland situation, I guess. But it's actually across the street. It said at or near the property. That's across the street. I believe it's the ferry property.
Here, so you're talking about this being a pond across the
That's the
street.
pond. We're located here.
Mhm.
And this right here is W, they have it identified in their system as a potential, it looks like it's the driveway. I don't know what to make of that, but they cite everything within the city.
Not impacting yours directly.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and lastly, I guess there is a flood zone line associated with the stream, but it's off into the wetlands and doesn't impact our property at all. So, that's a summary of the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question about stormwater. I noticed there was a structure off the house, is that right?
Yes, we have it's actually a sub-drain for the cellar. We have a fairly high water table. Where we do the house, we're actually pushing the house into the hill. So on this corner of the basement, it actually will be below the encountered water table. So there'll be a stone drain put within the stone below, at the footing grade, and that's all that is if any water were to come, if we trap it and get it out, we'll disperse it. So it'll be simply groundwater.
So it's just for the basement though? it's not
That's all
for
it
the-
is. It's a gravity basement drain in lieu of putting in a sump pump.
Okay, so you're not directing the stormwater off the roof or off the driveway or any place?
No, we're just letting it cascade.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. And I know you mentioned this, but I'm just curious. I asked this because I'm not a builder or an engineer. You mentioned grading, putting the garage at the bottom.
Yes.
Was there any consideration of putting the garage further towards the street so you wouldn't have to do that?
If we considered putting it up at this location, but what we would have to do is we'd have to elevate the finished slab grade significantly because we have a fall, these are fallen grades,
Mhm.
58, 57, 56, 55. So if we place the garage here, we'd probably have to set the slab at 59
Mhm.
instead of 55. And the grade we're dealing with, this is a 54 contour right here, 55 contour here. So right about here, well, we got a 54 in front, so we'll only have to raise that much grade in order to get the slab
Mm.
versus another 4 feet. And then what we end up with is 4 more feet of concrete walls exposed on the backside unless we brought in fill to go around.
Now, I was thinking more towards where you have the turnaround.
Up in this location, this home is gonna be owned by the son,
Yeah.
and they don't wanna blockade the two houses together. They wanna be able to access back and forth. So the desired location, by Mr. and Mrs. Knox's son is to push it towards the rear.
Mr. DeVan, how far is the back of that garage to the, you are in the buffer zone, so how far is it from the actual wetland?
Based on the scale, 1 inch equals 20 feet, I'd say about 40 to 45 feet here. That's 37. I'm gonna guess 40, 45 feet.
There will be some level of clearing there,
There is,
So-
yes, we're proposing to
Right.
clear around the backside
and how are you gonna do that?
with an excavator. There'll be a tree company that comes in and cuts all the trees, and then the silt fence will be installed, and then Russ DuBois will actually be doing the work.
Yes, I'll be honest with you, this is the first project that I've had this much of the property in the buffer zone.
Well, I've seen worse.
You may have, I have.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying in your town. I
Yeah.
see every plan.
I'm just new to the board, I'm just
Okay.
stating what I've seen.
I think the Ruin project had a
I was
house
gonna
5
say,
feet,
the
4 or
Ruin
5 feet
was
from the wetlands. The
7.
house was 7, and it was close.
They moved it though, to the latest iteration. So it's up to 23 feet, I think, now.
So is that garage gonna be outside the stone wall that's there now? There's like a natural stone where they cleared the field and there's a stone wall along the back end. Is that through the stone wall?
I didn't walk into the woods, so I can't say where that
I
stone wall
think it's
was.
on the other side.
It was on the drawing.
I don't remember.
It's a partial
Yeah,
wall.
okay, so let's
Yeah,
look at
it's,
7.
well. Just seemed like a very natural barrier for, keep the wetlands.
Yeah,
wetlands.
Here,
Oh, that's proposed on the next one.
oh, I see, that's
Yeah, we're
proposed, but
proposing
there is
both
a,
of
There
them.
was a wall.
there is a stone wall in there. That we crossed
On 7 or 6?
on 7, I thought it was.
Okay, it's not on this one, this is
It might have been further west of that.
Like I said, I've been to the field and I've walked around the field. I can't say that I walked into the woods. I didn't do the survey work myself, those are my associates.
We don't have any further questions? Anybody else?
No,
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for a positive recognition.
I'll make a motion for positive order.
second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? That's any opposed or any abstaining? Okay, unanimous. And then, next, since you're up there, NOI Frank and Karen Knox, Perry Hill Road, map 9, portion of lot 18A, this is A&R lot number 7, file number SE-001-0545. And notice of intent was filed by Frank and Karen Knox for property located at Perry Hill Road, map 9, portion lot 18A. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family dwelling with 2 garages, 2 driveways, utility septic system grading, and a 20-foot by 40-foot in-ground swimming pool with a perimeter patio and pool house within the 100-foot buffer zone of bouldering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by David and Davignon of Schneider, Davignon and Leone Incorporated. Plan name is sewage disposal system site plan for property known as ANR Lot Number 7 on Perry Hill Road in Acushnet, Mass. That's also dated February 7. Sorry, the other one's dated February 6, February 7 of 2020. And we continue.
Thank you. So this is lot 7. It's, majority of the lot is up in the north quadrant, then the lot comes down here to pick up the 60,000 square foot needed for the lot size. This lot had actually 2 sets of perk tests done on it. Originally, Russ thought we could get, or we all thought we could get 3 house lots out of the whole field. So there were perks done here, down in the middle, and up in that quadrant. What limited this area into 2 lots was the upland computation. We came up 3,500 square feet short of upland to get 3 lots, so we made them wider than what's required. This lot has 211 feet of frontage across the road instead of 150, so it allowed us to widen the lots, give them more room, particularly to fit the house design that they wish to have on the property. So we chose this location for the leaching field, which gets us 100 feet. This, I didn't highlight it, but this dotted line represents the 100-foot buffer right through here. And the buffer from the pond is this dotted line right here. So we're able to put the leaching field completely out of the buffer zones of both wetlands, the pond across the street and the wetland on this side. We could have done the same over here, but this would require more fill if we put it here. We're doing actually a pump system. We're pumping up to this, and we're gonna create somewhat of a pimple, if you will, because of the water tables. If we placed it here, we'd have, the house actually would be a couple of feet higher. So we're putting in a septic tank, a pump chamber, and pumping up to leaching field in this location in order to minimize the fill in the front yard. We're looking at 2 feet of fill across the front of the house, and then we're just feathering it in. There actually won't be any fill along the front of the field, the first 30, 40 feet of the field, and it'll just be slightly brought up to the front of the house. So we have a minor amount of fill in the front and on the sides for the 2 driveways entering the 2 garages. The backyard was a bit of a challenge because the site starts to fall off. There is a possibility that the pool patio may get lowered a little bit, but they wanted to avoid having to have railings when they come out onto the patio from first floor to the patio. The finished patio, if you will, a formal patio, then onto the patio for the pool. So we had a step down, which caused a problem kind of when we get down here. So we do have fill needed to be brought in for the pool. We put a boulder retaining wall at this location so that we can maintain a 10-foot activity or vegetated buffer between the work and the wetlands. And that's what you see across here. And we're going to keep the grades tight over here so that we don't have to continue to fill towards nor need a wall to continue beyond that point. Over here, we're just feathering it in to blend into the grades of the other house we just approved. We have the same drain for the cellar coming off into the lowest part of the lot, because as we get over here, we're expected the cellar floor to be slightly into the water table. So during potentially wet season, we want to be able to capture that water into a perimeter stone drain on both sides, inside and outside the footing, to get that groundwater out, discharge over here into the wetlands. We have a well to the east of the house. It's actually pretty much parallel with the other well, and we put both in the open field, so an easy installation for the workshop to come in and put those wells in. You can see that well, these 2 wells will be about 100 feet back from the wetlands, and right about the buffer zone. we've tried to minimize the fill on this side as well, so we can blend it in to the house to the right. You know, from the back, we're just feathering it down gently. There is the potential of joining the driveways into one entrance, so we show two, but potentially this one might just swing over to here. It might just be one entrance. Second done. So in a nutshell, that's the project. Russ Dubois still has some land here to the west, and he still owns some frontage that might be valuable to the rear of the property. So he owns the land all the way around it, and then the Knox is only land to the right. It really is one true abutter of the property across the street. DEP did issue a file number saying no comment.
Would you keep the septic area buffer zones? No, any questions or comments?
I just can't get past how big the house is.
It's a lot of garage too.
A lot of garage.
And it's really a one-story house, which is why the footprint's big on the first floor. There's a bonus room, was it over one of the garages? But essentially, most of what you see here is, it's a one-story house. That's the movement now, is the sprawling ranch, not the stairs.
Trying to avoid stairs. Yeah.
So the back of that is a patio, or is there a pool there?
There's a series across the whole back here. There are patios, there are two covered patios, and this is an open patio. Those are masonry built patios. They all have one step down to be determined, the patio around the pool, which could be concrete, could be
And
other type
and
of.
how far is that from the line?
The distance from the pool to the line,
Oh, that perimeter or whatever that's gonna be.
I'm gonna guess about 16 feet, 17 feet based on, because the boulder wall is 10 feet off. So maybe even 17, 18 feet concrete.
So when it comes to maintaining the pool, especially draining the pool, what's the plan for taking the water out, and where does that go?
I think the best location for a discharge would be, grades run this way, so if the best location would be discharging somewhere up in this quadrant here, so that it has a lot of land to flow down. Away from the well, but up in the northeast corner, somewhere in this location right here. And the water can cascade down the hill, it'll flow about 100-foot path before it gets to the
Talking about sending chlorinated water into the well.
Correct. We just went over this at Concom and Fahaven.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big discussion about it. If you wait a solid 48 hours, most of the chlorine dissipates out of the water. So one of the members on the commission said, well, and then there was the same discussion about, we had about 50-foot distance.
Yeah.
And one commission member said, you'll learn real fast that if you don't wait the 48 hours, it's gonna kill all your grass before it gets to the wells. So if you're gonna drain, in other words, if you're gonna drain the pool, you shut down the filter system for 48 hours and let the chlorine fall out of the system, or most of it, before you drain it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you dissipate that chlorine. But you could condition the project that any discharge associated with it be a minimum, in this, located within 10 feet of the southeast patio on the plan, or something of that nature.
Yeah.
I think Karen's seeing what we're talking about. Basically, if the pool's to be emptied, you want to empty it in this location, so then it has a long path for it to go before it gets to the wetlands, rather than, somebody just
Yeah.
sending a hose right over to the wetlands.
Mm. And as you just system sit for a day or two, let the chlorine settle out. 'Cause if you're gonna drain it, you're gonna kill that grass there.
So there's no other restriction with that?
Well, there have been certain situations where there wasn't that drainage option where we've asked as one of the conditions that it gets trucked out. And that's more often for above ground pools.
But you're saying if you drain the entire pool, is that what you mean?
Yes. If you
But
drain-
Well,
you
even
got the
in the winter though,
winterized.
if you, you know, you bring the
Lower,
level down a
yeah.
little bit for the winter, you still gonna wanna do that.
Yeah,
So you-
It'll have to be below your jets,
Right.
the water level
right.
in the pool.
Anyways, we have an audience members here to ask about this, so I don't have to really answer this one. So, all right, so yeah, the one condition that I would recommend then is, you know, you said 10 feet off that,
Oh, somewhere between the pool house and patio,
yeah.
discharge should occur.
Mhm.
'Cause anywhere in this location, it has to travel in this direction, and follow the contours, it's got a 100-foot path.
Okay. And review, I mean, you mentioned this, but review this drain, is this the similar
is a-
situation for the other house?
Correct. We're saying recommended interior and exterior drains. Typically, when you might have potential water table problems, they put, you have crushed stone around the footings. All we're talking about is putting a 4-inch perforated pipe, do it on the inside, the outside, you connect the two.
Mhm.
And then this is a 6-inch drain, gravity drain. So any water that comes should get captured on the outside of the foundation. If anything rises on the inside, gets into the pipe, and then it'll just carry through here. Purely groundwater,
Yeah.
no pollution, no need for a sump pump.
And then roof drains, it's just going down the downspouts and cascade over the lawn.
Correct.
The nice thing is you don't have to, there's no concern about butters and discharging into their property. Which simplifies this a little bit. Okay. So with all that being said, I'll entertain a motion to issue a positive vote of conditions with the one additional condition that when pool gets drained, that the drainage happens between the pool house and the easternmost
We
on the
can,
patio.
we can state the
We can
the
condition.
distance to be 100 feet from
Yeah.
the wetland line, the discharge point.
Well, if you made it that black and white statement, if you look at the buffer zone, this dotted line, the discharge would have to be up in this location. What I'm saying is based on the contours, it's gonna travel 100 feet, because you don't have a straight line to the wetlands. But if you force them to pump up here, they're actually pumping now, upgrading of the well, something we wanna avoid as well. In this location, you're actually downgrading of the well away from it. The water has to flow perpendicular to the contours. It's gonna go this way, and eventually
Yeah.
here. The path will be 100 feet, but the distance, true distance wouldn't be.
Yeah, so between the pool house and the easternmost part of the patio.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay. So, somebody willing to make that motion?
I'll make that motion
Do we have a
with that
second?
condition.
Yeah. Do we have a second? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? That's unanimous?
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Agent updates. Thanks, David.
Agent updates. I saw Aaron Cavallo today, and he said, what am I gonna do? You guys haven't told me what I should do yet. So I said, well, I'll bring it up to the commission tonight, and, personally, I think the only way he's gonna drain that is to put that pipe in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kinda what I told him today. I don't really see what else he can do.
At this point, otherwise he's got a health problem
Yeah,
on his hands.
and mosquitoes and everything
Mhm.
else. So,
Is he going to a court to put out for anything to check it?
no, I don't think so. I think it's just us, up to
I
us.
think I'm missing something.
On Tilly Way?
I'm not sure.
I wasn't there.
Never was.
Oh, you missed that one.
I was busy with a tree.
Yes.
He's got, oh, that's right, you had a tree problem. He has water here, his house is here, and then it needs to get like over here, you know? But right now, it's just a muddy mess, his whole yard is just this muddy mess. So-
And whatever seems to be draining from across the street is this drainage area. So you've got our houses here, Tilly Way comes down here, you get this drainage area that then goes underneath Tilly Way, and it's in this little swale between a neighbor and his, but somebody's septic system over here must be failing, because he's now getting this smell and this septic, it's like puddling up in his backyard. So he was just wanting to pipe it away. So we had asked him to stop just because he was digging
So that's what,
in
that's
an
a
area
lane way,
that
right?
had been flagged. Hmm?
That's a lane way, that road?
That I don't remember,
I'll check
because
with Cheryl about
those
that.
street names back there are confusing.
Hit the wall, and then you can see it.
Hmm.
Okay, but I'll tell him he can put his pipe in.
Yeah.
Okay. Also,
But I also think we need to get to the root cause of that.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
I was
those-
gonna go talk to somebody else to.
That water is not rainwater, it's just gonna keep on flowing, even when it's not raining.
if it's from septic or if you know,
If
even
it's-
those
Yeah,
spots
I
there,
remember how green that grass was.
So I don't know,
yeah.
I know,
it's not a solution.
no. But maybe that'll be next.
Well, I'll check with the Board of Health and see, make sure everybody's pumping, you know, on a reasonable basis and if there aren't any problem septic's over there.
And that discharge is gonna go down to the Eversource property?
Right, it's going across his property, the back of his property,
Yeah,
and there's another drainage area.
yeah, out to the easement probably,
Hmm.
yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
It's not gonna become a neighbor's problem.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they put down, when they're working in there, on those easements, they put down those timber mats, so when it's wet, so they don't, the trucks don't fall in.
So that could be sewerage in there, possibly.
Well, if it's, like I said, I'll check with the Board of Health about, the septic, in, you know, on that street there. And, beyond that, I don't know what else we could do. You know, I mean, we'll have to
Nothing I
find,
could do, but
yeah, we'll have to figure out if there is a bad septic system there, that'll be relatively easy to fix.
yeah.
If there isn't, or nobody knows about one yet, then we got a little more work in front of us.
Yeah.
There was wetlands back there too, just to the side.
To the side and, yeah.
And that, yeah, that's a slightly separate issue with his renovation and all that stuff on that property, because he's right up against the flag line with some of that work.
Yeah,
But we'll check on that periodically as he cleans that property up.
Yeah, we need to get him to
yeah,
You know,
that's what she,
remove all that stuff, yeah.
Mhm.
Who else? Everybody else I think is doing okay. I haven't been out looking at violations or anything. No, I think everybody else is doing okay. Oh, yeah, well, what happened with that?
Nothing
Anything?
yet, I'll follow up in the next couple of days. I wanna get that long tape measure and go back out and measure property line.
Yeah.
We'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
I also wanna mention that, looks like we will soon have ourselves a full commission again. We have two interested residents of the town who will be appointed soon by our Board of Selectmen. They'll be appointed tonight, that's great. Then once you're appointed and sworn in, we'll see Ryan and Richard at our next meeting. And we'll have to do something nice for Ted, who is going to resign after decades on our commission.
I know, we really
Yeah.
should do something nice, take him out for dinner or
yeah.
something.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, we've been talking with
Yeah, and talk him into letting us pay for it.
Yeah.
That's
We're
the
going
biggest
cans.
challenge. All right.
The conference is Saturday,
Mhm.
and I have reserved the escape, which will hold 5 people. But we have 7 going, so we're gonna have to figure out.
Yeah, well, I have to go on my own because I have to leave right after lunch and be coming back.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah,
you're
so I'm
only
going
gonna
to
have
morning sessions. Right.
Okay,
Then maybe we can.
Rick and I may be carpooling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, let Marley drive.
yeah, let me drive, I like to drive.
You get there quickly.
And back.
As opposed to others on the
So
board.
who's, you're going in your own car,
Yes.
you're going in your own
I'm
car,
gonna carpool with Rick.
so please,
Everybody
who
else
else is going?
Everybody, except, well, Evelyn's not going.
Okay, so there's
But you
4 of
guys
us
are
left.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll fit in the escape.
Okay, what time?
Yeah, what time? I don't know, what time does it start, 8:30?
8:30, yes, that's 8:30.
So, 7:30?
7 o'clock?
Yeah,
Seven
that
o'clock,
makes
all
more
right,
sense for
7
Worcester,
o'clock.
yeah. That way you get time
I
to
mean,
park and
if
walk
it's
in.
nice,
Yeah.
it's a nice day like it's been, it's not a problem, but
Right.
Yeah.
I know,
All you
that's
need is-
true.
We've been in snow.
all you need is to get up into northern Rhode Island and have a little bit of
Remember how
black ice. and-
cold it was?
All right, 7 AM on Saturday.
Mhm.
Then we can have a
So,
donut, a
yeah,
cup of coffee and not have to.
that's right.
Drag it down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So anybody else with business before the commission? All right.
It's early voting if anybody wants to early vote.
I'll vote next week. So our next meeting will be on Tuesday, March 10th, 6 PM here in our office space in the Parting Ways building. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
You don't have some.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:51 PM.